All right, it now being 6:01 on October 1st. I'm going to open the meeting of the North Carver Water District, Tuesday, October 1st, 6 p.m. at the Carver Police Meeting Room. This is being recorded by Area 58. Record they may. Just let me know first. So I'd like to start out by, my name is Robert Belvin. I'm the chairman of the Water Commissioners. This is Eric Mueller, he's one of the members, and Doug Fisk, I don't think he can show up today, so he's MIA for tonight. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves from Middleborough?
Sure, yeah. I'm Jay McGrail. I'm the town manager of Middleborough. We have Mark Tremaine, he's the chairman of the select board, and Mike Bumpus is our water superintendent.
Excellent. Since this is a small meeting, we have 3 members of our board of selectmen here and our town administrator. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves too? Might as well.
Sarah Humans, select board.
Dan Ryan, select board. And Mark Townsend, select board.
Glenn Cannon, town administrator. I do for the record want to say that the select board is not going to open their meeting. It will not deliberate.
Correct. Okay. That being said, I was going to read off some ground rules here, but I don't think we need them right now. So we're going to pass that right along. We'll go right to our agenda. Public comment. Anybody want to have any public comment at this time? There being none, we'll just move right on to an open discussion with Middleborough officials on past issues, current issues, future goals to foster a better working relationship. Okay, so I don't know if you guys ever had a meeting with water commissioners, ever, with Middleborough, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to hash out any issues that we have in the past. And first thing I want to say is I thank Middleborough from the bottom of my heart that you have bailed us out so many times because of everything from poor management, oversight with our plant and whatnot. So I want to say thank you very much. If we didn't have you guys, we'd be up Schitt's Creek without power, really, really badly. And I don't know if there's anything that we could ever do to repay all the times that you bailed us out. That's number one, thank you. Number 2 is, I'm sorry for my email I sent for a public records request. I was very frustrated that I wasn't getting information from anyone, whether the town side, your side, or anything else. I wanted, like I said, I apologize for that. It's just my frustration came out that I needed to know what was going on and how people being done with very little information at that time, with me being the only member and not having other 2 members as they both resigned. I took over. So that being said, we'll start with the newest issue was today. There was an issue with your wire. We got notification of it. It only lasts like 15 minutes, I guess, or whatnot. I did have one person, I talked to Mike about this, that had some dirty water that was coming through. I told him just flush it out, told him what had happened. But that was only one call, which is, I guess, better than...
And like I said, we was down 16 minutes. I was trying to tell Bob earlier. We were trying to get some lead out of the water, so we had a lead replacement on 892 Plymouth Street. And it was a fitting that I've only seen twice. It's a 2 1/4 fitting to the rear lead cover. We couldn't put that back in. So we had to make a decision. We were going to attempt to do it live, and it was a safety concern, or we were going to have to shut down the service. And we took the shut down the service for 16 minutes. And I was in the office, and the phone exploded. So it's frustrating to me that people just take life for granted. And when it shuts off, they call. So I didn't get any dirty water. We had multiple calls on lack of water, lack of water pressure from 892 Plymouth all the way up to Odia. But it was only 16 minutes. And people ask for notification, but I'm not giving out notifications on emergencies. So it was an emergency.
And we also looked at our contacts of getting one out. By the time we did, it was already back up. So there was no sense of putting another one out after the fact. We're coming to this meeting to disclose it at that point. So thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. The next one is we got your 30-day notice. I'm sorry to hear. I was hoping we could build some more workarounds and to help take care of some of the issues that we have, but also learn from you guys too. We're in the process now of creating one to an RFP to put out to bid for one, but I don't think we'll have it done within the 30 days. So we're hoping that we could see if you could extend that an extra 30 days just so we could get somebody in there to take over. So that's number one. Number two is at our last meeting, anything that's, let me go back. I have in my many years of dealing with things and contracts and whatnot, I like everything written down, documented. I like to know the costs of everything, of what it's going to be. And when I look at the contracts that we have, it doesn't really have those in there. So at our last meeting, we voted for Eric to actually talk to you guys that anything that needs to be done money-wise and negotiation-wise, to negotiate anything you do for us, because anything you do, we need to pay you. All right, and again, I'm sorry about the last billing cycle that you guys didn't get paid on time, and I'm sorry. But hopefully you got the check that we sent out over, and that's how things will be done. As soon as we do it, we're going to make sure it gets sent out. We meet on Wednesday, like hopefully Friday or Monday, it'll be sent out to you guys in the future for those water bills. So if you guys want to do an expanded contract or whatnot, and anything of what they do, what we may need, because I was looking at one of the other contracts that you guys had in the past, was that you guys did a lot of the work on the water lines if they broke or anything or whatnot. If you were interested in that, like I said, Eric will be in charge of discussing with you guys there. All right.
Is it all right if I jump in?
Please, yes.
All right. So, you know, we had heard through your attorney that you were interested in extending it for an additional 30 days. That's something that we need to talk about and decide whether we're able to take on. But, you know, I think it would be an important time just to kind of recap the last couple of years of our relationship, if that's all right.
Yes, please.
So, I mean, I started in my role about two years ago right now. And when I walked in to the role, we had been providing water to the town of Carver, you know, unmetered the whole time, and still to this day unmetered, which we've been working on through the meter pit. But for at that time about a year, had it been a year? When I first started. Yeah. So okay, not quite a year, only about 6 months at that point in time. I started in November of '22. You know, in a situation that had come up, the plant went down, you guys needed emergency water. Mark, on a weekend, had Mike go out and open the valve and turn it on, really without any discussion of how we're going to pay for it or who's going to get paid. We just did it, you know. So at that point in time, you moved to repair the plant and get the plant back up and running. And I think around Christmas time of that year, the plant got back up and running. We met with Mr. Townsend and the previous town administrator to try to figure out how to come up with how to get compensated for that period of time from, you know, that summer until that Christmas. And it was challenging because there was a huge discrepancy between what we thought we were owed and what you guys had billed. And that's an abundant issue in the system. There's, you know, there's a lot of water that goes in that we don't know exactly where it's going on the Carver side. That's obviously why it was super important. We moved as quickly as we could for a meter, you know, so that we were able to master meter. And ultimately, through a negotiation that took place in my office, we decided to just, you know, meet the bill from what we thought we were owed to what you guys could really afford based on what you had billed. But we were pretty confident on our side that, you know, we probably took a loss on that water to make it work. But we understood the situation that Carver was in, At the end of the day, being that it was unmetered water, we just had to make a decision. And we made a decision, we came up with a number. That bill, took a really long time to get paid, a really long time to get paid. So then, for a little while, you guys are running the plant, you have small water running distribution, we're all just kind of doing our own thing. We had met a couple of times because I think there was kind of an idea that down the line, maybe the plant would have problems and we would step in potentially in a permanent situation to provide water. So we met just to have that conversation, but nothing really progressed with it because there was no emergency. Fast forward to November 2023, so almost a year later, we received a phone call. We met again in the selectmen's meeting room, but not in the selectmen's meeting, just in the meeting room with members of the North Carver Water District and a member of the selectmen and the town administrator from Carver. And it was pretty clear that day that you guys were in an emergency situation again. The water wasn't in a situation that it was a board health issue. So we picked a date that would work, and you guys shut the plant down. We met with the select board on our side, which is the water commissioners, and agreed to open the valve again in a situation where, once again, we're providing unmetered water to the town of Carver, and we have no idea really if we're going to get compensated for that amount because we understand the issues that you have on your side with metering. But what choice did we have? Did anybody have? It wasn't, we wanted to be good neighbors. You guys were in a critical situation. You needed potable water for your customers. So we opened the valve again and started providing water. There was an agreement at that time that we try to bill monthly. I think we were going to try to bill monthly or quarterly. We were going to try to bill quarterly rather than let it run for a long period of time, which is what had happened the last time. And, we've attempted to do that. It didn't take you guys as long this time around to pay the bill as it did last time. I appreciate that it was mailed to the wrong place. And there was some transition on your board. I understand that. Trying to figure out who's going to pay the bill. It's complicated. We are not directly involved in that, but we hear about it. So ultimately, we got paid. And then what happened that's led us to really where we are today is small water walked away from you guys, and then left. And we were in a situation in Middleborough where Mike had real concerns about whether or not we're providing the water. We have liability on what's happening with it on the other side of the lines, and it's his license on the line at the end of the day. So literally without an agreement in place, without a vote of the select board, a conversation between the three of us, we agreed to start providing services with Middleborough employees in the town of Carver. We come in, Mike was very quick to pick up that nobody was doing dig safes. There was Glenn was involved at this point in time, and there was a real question about who's going to read meters, who's going to do water sampling. There was water sampling that needed to be done like immediately. Mike and his crew stepped up and did all of that. With no agreement, we still don't have an agreement in place for that. So, we provided those services, and there was an internal conversation at the time about whether or not that's something that we'd be interested in doing in the long term. And I think when we saw the draft agreement that you guys sent over, which is a totally legitimate agreement that you would have with any contractor that works.
Yeah, it was just, I dropped that off.
Yeah, and I'm not taking shots at the agreement. It's a legitimate agreement that you would have, but we're not a contractor. We're not set up to do that. It was pretty glaring to us that we're in the business of taking care of Middleborough residents and in the Middleborough water system, and we're not set up to be a contractor to provide those services for cost outside of that town. And it's not appropriate for us to really do so. So that's what facilitated the 30-day notice. It's not that we're looking to walk away from you guys, and chances are we'll be able to help you in the 30 days. We need to talk about it, but we're not really set up. We're not a contractor. We're not looking to make money or run a business. All the services that we provided to this point on the distribution side were on handshake, and that's really it. So that's kind of where we're at today. You had sent some emails about wanting to potentially look at having a conversation around the district and also, how we could work together to help each other's towns. And when I say this, I don't mean it disrespectfully, and I'm sorry if it comes out this way. But we run a system that we're extremely proud of. Mike does tremendous work with his staff, running a distribution and a treatment operation in Middleborough for 6,500 customers. We're not looking to have partners. We're not looking to do anything really. Like, we're happy with the setup that we do. We're very happy with the operation that we run, and we provide help to you guys because you guys need it, and that's really as far as we want it to be. So as far as water goes, we'll continue to provide water under the emergency. Even that wasn't done the correct way, really, when you think about it. We have an MOU in place for a meter pit, for you guys to reimburse us the cost of the meter pit. We put language in that MOU that allowed us to supply water in an emergency to Middleborough. So that's the agreement that we're using to supply the water right now. If we're going to provide water for the long term, and I know Paul had talked about, and I've seen in New York City, we get the pit up and running. I mean, not the pit, the plant up and running. If you do that, then we'll shut the valve. If you're not able to do that, and we need to extend providing water to you guys for a permanent amount of time, then this agreement won't last. We need to put together a permanent agreement between Middleborough and the North Carver Water District on how that's going to be structured, because, and this is really important for us to say, it's not easy for us to provide water. We have an issue with our permit. We don't have an unlimited amount of water, and there's a really good argument that can be made on the Middleborough side that it doesn't make sense for us to provide Carver with water, because there could be a time in the very near future where we have to say no to a potential commercial development in Middleborough because we're maxed out on our permit because we're providing it to another community, and that's a concern. So we're actively working on the Middleborough side with consultants to try to find ways to expand our permit, because I think the DEP would like us to provide water to you if the plant's not up and running, but we need flexibility in our permit to be able to do that, so that we're not in a situation where we ever have to say no to Middleborough people because we're providing water region. So although we're committed to continue to provide water to the town of Carver or to the North Carver Water District, it's not easy for us to do so. There's a negative side on it for us that we're working through as well. Just to put it in perspective, chances are we will help you with your situation until you find a distribution operator. But really, our interest in not being that distribution operator is we just at this time just don't think it's appropriate for us to be in that business. We'll continue to provide water if you need it, but if it's going to be permanent, we need to figure out A, how to increase our permit, and B, we need to set up a permanent MOU that structures this. And ultimately, what we would like to do is master meter it and send you a bill based on the meter reading, and that's it.
That was actually what was one of my questions, so thank you very much. So that draft agreement, I created that. I sent it to you guys to look at it. I was hoping that you guys would be willing to do this and that we actually have an agreement, that there's something in there that says, all right, you get paid for any services. And to be honest, I think you guys should be billing us any services that you guys have provided.
Yeah, so we just did.
Well, good, good, because
We had it.
all right, my feeling is that we need to pay you everything that you do for us. And you may be a government entity, but you have bills to pay. And Middleborough should not be paying for Carver residents. All right,
That's why we put this together. So because we don't have an agreement in place, we picked our Mike's rate. We came up with a rate that we thought was accurate, based on what an OT rate would be for our employees. And obviously, we weren't to the penny trying to figure out exactly how many hours Mike did this, and Taylor did that. We just came up with a rate, and that's the labor. I mean, I think what's important to look at this is a $96,000 bill. All but $10,000 of it is for the meter pit. So basically, the cost of Middleborough running the distribution system from when small water left till today is 10 grand.
I don't think that's enough, to be totally honest. But what, just to see some of the things that he's been doing and his
Right.
office has been doing, and his employees, I think it's a lot more.
So we tried to cover it, but it's, we don't, there's no profit. So we're not in the money business.
I understand that. But I was hoping that, because in our town, I don't know if you've been watching what's going on and some of the ideas that we're floating out there, but we're gonna have an engineering study done on our plan. That's gonna take some time. And then once that comes back, we make a determination as either we fix up the plant that we have now, maybe we convert it to a green sand and chlorine-based system, which I think is similar to what you guys use there. That no?
No, we use a biological, it's kind of a new way to treat iron and manganese. We were the first in the state of Massachusetts to do it, and we're actually designing another one for the East Grove treatment plant. It's a little different than green sand. It's actually a biological, it's brand new technology, which I think Mark is going to talk about maybe a little bit with the map he handed out.
Okay, because that was told as green sand. All right,
Now, a little different filtration.
okay,
Yeah, we don't use
Same-
sand. We don't.
Same removal, but a different technology how to do it.
You're
okay.
welcome to come see it.
Yeah.
It's up and running.
Yeah.
We have one plant that Mike's referring to that's, I don't know, how old is that? 5 years old?
It has times time.
5 years old?
Yeah, about 5 years old.
And we're in the process of going out to bid for the construction of a new plant that will be biological as well.
Will, would a green sand and chlorine-based system be compatible with yours, or no?
Yeah, I just can't have, it's actually biological. So chlorine doesn't decipher it, it's gonna kill the coliform, it's gonna kill good bacteria.
Right.
So I have to do the chlorine addition at the end. The end results are the same.
Right,
So it's chlorine-based at the end, it's still chlorine residue.
okay. So I know what we're allowed is 100,000 a day of water. And right now, if we shut the line off, we're only using maybe half that amount, right?
Yeah, it's about 40.
About 40-something thousand, so we have another 60,000
Honestly,
availability.
if the plant doesn't work out and we're providing water on a permanent basis, our argument with DEP is that we'd like that in our permit, It's a reasonable argument, it's just whether or not DEP listens. We're at a point where we would need to apply for a new permit because we can't expand on our permit enough to be able to add additional capacity outside of Carver because we also provide water to Rochester as well. So it's not as simple as it should be, but we need to apply for a new permit.
Right. One of the other questions is we do have an urban renewal plan in North Carver, and they have two prospective tenants for that, which would be somewhere around 3,000 gallons a day. If they get hooked up, would Middleborough be willing to expand it to that for any other,
Do you, Mark?
and or any other contaminated wells that we may have in the town, the residents?
Mr. Chair, it would probably take a vote of the board to get us on the point where we have to supply water. So there's really no set number we can and can't supply right now based on our permit, our withdrawal permit. So we have to discuss that and we will vote of the board. But something I wanted to clarify real quick if I can, is the November 28, 2023 date for the emergency water. The select board is also the water commissioners and sewer commissioners in Middleborough. We only have the authority to do a 2-year emergency water. So just so everybody's aware, there's a clock on this. If there's no agreement moving forward at town meeting, at our town meeting, we can no longer provide them with water. So we don't have all the time in the world. I just want you to be aware of it, that this is counting down. It's December of 25, and there's no more water unless we pass town meeting.
That was one of my other questions, how long emergency order we're going to last
2 years,
for?
that's all we have.
All right.
And it's not my rule, it's just it's part of the bylaw, it's bylaw.
Select board can do that. We can work under an agreement like that for up to 2 years on water and sewer.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
how many contaminated wells? Elaborate on that at all? We discussed.
So the actual contamination down around Plymouth Street and Main Street, all around the North Carver landfill, I'd have to say it's got to be at least, 60?
Yeah, approximately 60.
About 60 contaminated wells?
Yeah, those are what is on the water service now.
Right.
Already.
They're already on the system now.
Yeah, but how many-
We have one more that we have to get right now. Challenging, we're going to talk about that today a lot, but there's always going to be more. There's going to be more. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just when they that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, if you could, I'd like to go back to one of the Jay was talking about Big Mark also. I said, we would like to work with you to see if we could at least have something in place in case that plant never comes back on board. I'm sorry, I'm nervous about it. I mean, even the chair said, talking about changing the plan, right? And that means us going back to town meeting, getting a vote, and we're still paying a note on that plan. I don't know if they're going to pump water again. I mean, I think we need to have serious discussions about at least the ability to accept.
That's what Eric's will have discussions with Middleborough about. That's something that he'll have to have a serious discussion with them about it. Right now, as we have an engineering, now we have another time frame that we have to work toward too now. So we'll have some serious discussions with that. And then when and if that comes into play, when we have our discussions, when the engineering plan comes back, then we'll go ahead and have those discussions of where we go from there.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
If I may, there's no downside to an agreement for the long term, because if you don't need the water, you just don't use the water. We're billing a master meter. So I would say, if you ask my opinion, to get both towns on the same page, pass it at the town meeting, our end or your end if you have to, and then everybody can sleep at night knowing that we have water if you need it.
So what I was looking for would be a 3 to 5 year contract. That's what I have written here. That would give us that breezeway to figure out what we're going to do with our system. But like I said, that's up to go forward with it. But that was my plan, as I have a stopgap for at least a minimum of 3, but up to 5 possibly. I don't know. Like I said, that's between you guys when you guys have those discussions with it. But I have to also look toward,
I'm not sure we need to put a time frame on it. If you guys want water and pass town meeting, it's in perpetuity. You're going to pay for water anyway at the rate we all agree on.
Yeah, use it or not.
There's probably no need for a 3 to 5 year expiration.
Yeah, I guess it's the goal, see what the plan can actually do, what's needed.
So I'm also concerned on our side that I have to pass town meeting and maybe opposition, maybe not. So let's get this done as soon as possible, just in case.
okay,
And the rates will be set in the contract.
right. So my
bigger concern is whether we can handle the capacity that we.
And that's my concern too, is that we do have an urban renewal plan that could have a lot of impact for future water use. And that's something that has to be negotiated with you guys, if you can handle that extra water or not.
I would defer to
And-
Mike.
And we don't, we only know about these 2 little lots that are looking about 3,000 gallons a year, a day there, and saying, okay, well, the bigger one is if they get that 1 million square foot.
So the frustrating thing for us to say is we have all the water that you need, but we only have a permit for so much. So that's really our limiting factor.
And it's not just North Carver that's the issue, it's the development we have at the train station, other things we have to worry about. And it's kind of ironic that we have to build out all this area possibly, but there's no extra volume of withdrawal permit, so they kind of go hand in hand.
Right. I know.
Just Mr. Chairman, if I just could, and I know Jay and I had this discussion when I was town administrator in Rochester, and I want to extend it here to her. He said, the town, the town of Carver is willing to support you with DEP to increase that permit. It's in our best interest, right, as well as your best interest. So we
have to go back to some ground rules here, all right? Is that, okay, this is discussion here is between the North Carver Water District and Middleborough, okay? In the town of Carver, yes, we have a bigger issue financially with this whole process, all right? Once we come to some agreement on this, we will come back and let everyone know what's going on, all right? Our best interest is to the residents that are on Carver Water, North Carver Water District, to make sure they have healthy, safe water. We can't provide it right now, all right? And hearing what you're saying now, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. But I also have to look at our future too. So I don't know how many more people's wells will get contaminated, resident wells will get contaminated with the flow of water. All right, so I have to think about that. And you guys will definitely be thinking about that, because do you want to take on another 20 or 30 households in Carver for Middleborough with your water?
The answer is no, but if you guys don't have an option, then
Right.
we're willing to help. I mean,
Right.
we would be happy to shut the valve tomorrow. It would make our life easier.
Right.
But you guys, we're not going to leave you hanging. So
Thank you. I
there's no-
appreciate that.
There's no benefit to us to do anything we do in Carver. There's no benefit. It's just we do it to
Mr.
help.
Chair, I
Yes, sir.
think me and Mark and Jay will discuss the urban development, and I gotta be careful, because I'm a Carver taxpayer, so I gotta be careful on some of the decisions, so we'll discuss that, but contaminated wells, I think we can work together, Eric and Mr. Ford and, I thought his name, Kevin, and you get them hooked up if they're on the distribution line. Are they already on the distribution line down on the old 44?
Yes.
All right.
But contaminated wells, I'm all for it. Urban development, I'm gonna be careful where I go.
That's where it's like, you know, how horrible would it be for the town of Middleborough if we said yes to that, and then we couldn't do a commercial development on our side of
Yeah,
Right.
I think we lose our jobs.
Yeah.
I volunteered.
They were,
You don't get reelected and I lose my job.
No, and I totally agree. I mean, you guys represent your town, you take care of your town residents.
So
all
I
right?
don't mean disrespect when I say
It's not,
The
it's not.
easiest would be to shut the valve. That
Right.
would be the easiest for
Right.
us.
and I don't think that should be a discussion right now for the development up north,
Yeah.
because he put the 3,000 gallon number out there. It's unknown. It all falls under Title V. What he's going to be required to have for water depends on what the state regulations are, depending on what he builds, fire suppression, so that should be,
I think it's fair to say for right now, without the water commissioners voting to allow more water other than emergency stuff that Mike's willing to take on, that's really all we've got.
That's good. And that's fine. That's reasonable. I have no
Way to
problem
say
with
it,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one question though, where it's your water flowing through our distribution lines, there's no, butting heads with an operator down here that's, checking off the distribution system, or you guys have to work together?
definitely work together.
Okay.
We worked well with small water for, 6-8 months.
Okay.
We still supply the water, we still have to do call phone sample, which will be Monday the 7th, will be the next one. We'll be sampling right on Plymouth Street. The DP advised me to stay on the cross connections. So if we're still operations and we extend that, I'll have some sampling to do. But if we do not, we just let the water flow. I'll do call phone sample once a month at the beginning. It's usually the first Tuesday of the month, but it's not this month. It's going to be the first Monday. And while I'm on cross connections, we've spent you see some of that bill, a lot of time on cross connections. I feel comfortable that we probably have 90% of them found. We've got some surveying to do at Waterstones and Honeydew. If you have any pull there, we still need to get in. We have complications getting that building. And Tractor Supply, I think the name is Sheila Cortez. I think if you have any contacts with them, maybe forward them to me. I do not believe there's a cross connection in that building. But besides those two facilities, I think every building in North Carolina Water District's been done. And when we took this on 6 months ago, I think there was only 3 done.
Okay. One of the other things is that I saw in a prior MOU that you guys were fixing our pipes if there's something wrong. Would you still be willing to do that, even though we have our own distributor? Or because I'm trying,
The distribution operator that you hire will take on.
we'll take care of that, and also meter installs and all that other stuff. We'll certainly take
That
care of
said, I mean, it is Middleborough water, so if a pipe bursts and you need help, we're gonna help.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, I did that. Just want to make sure I get on my list here. Pretty much covered everything. So with that being said, I think that the next order of business would be that Eric sit down with you guys to create an MOU with our lawyer. I'm sorry, I apologize. Robert Galvin, he's our attorney for the North Carver Water District now. So any MOU that comes out of it, I don't want it to cost you guys money. All right, so anything that's done with this, if we can use our lawyer to draft anything, we draft it, bring it to you, and say, okay, you guys take a look, change, fix whatever you have to do, modify it, or whatever, and go back and forth that way.
We'll see, we'll talk internally.
Yeah, for that, but like I said, I think you'll have a really good working relationship with Eric.
Happy, I think it just starts with a conversation with him.
Exactly.
We'll go from there.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything we can do in the meantime to help you with DEP?
Not yet. Yeah, we haven't totally decided our best course of action yet, whether we're going to apply for a new permit or try to expand our current permit. Until we decide that, I think we're kind of, if it's an expansion, I think it's going to be really easy based on our initial conversations with Mass DEP. If it's a new permit, then Mass DEP kind of loses control of it and it's open to a public comment period. It sounded like it becomes a nightmare, but I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do. It's just whether we're ready to take that on or not. But where we're providing, honestly, if this ends up being a permanent situation, I think there's a really good chance that DEP will, hopefully they'll look at it like we're a regional supplier, providing water to Lakeville, Rochester, Carver, Middleborough, and that said, expansions of permits are not that easy, so not yet.
I am somewhat familiar because Marshall provides water to portions of Duxbury, and Marshall provides portions of water to Situate, so we have those deals in place already.
Great.
And I do know your attorney very well, and I'm actually negotiating another matter with them in Abington and Brockton right now, so.
That's great. It's helpful. Yeah, I think we will need help from all the surrounding towns that we provide water to, but I just don't, we haven't made the decision yet of what we want to do, so.
Well, we'll follow your lead.
All right.
Okay. And like I said, anything that we can do, we will. We will help you guys out.
Appreciate it.
You've helped us over many years, like I
Yeah,
said.
well, it would be in all of our best interest, and it makes no sense if the plant's not running, there's got to be a way we can allocate that $100,000 permit.
Right.
Logical.
All comes from the same place.
Right.
Logic would say that we should be able to pick up that $100,000, but
Yeah.
this isn't always the way it goes.
Okay. All right, we'll have some further discussions at our meeting or anything. Is there anything else you guys?
Lead and copper, you may be delayed on that. Getting the plan approval for DEP was tedious. Well, I got 4 in the lab, but you only need 5 in the daycare. Wait for one sample to come back, but yours is due on the 10th of October, so that may be delayed getting in. But I'm working on that. The only sample you have in the fourth quarter is some more THMs, disinfection byproducts. I think I forwarded you the results in the last one.
Right.
But that's about it for the fourth quarter for you guys. But the lead copper, I'm gonna try and get together. When I hit that 90%, I'll send it out to you guys.
Okay, and I'll take care of Tractor Supply and Cornerstones tomorrow. I'll get you, is there a certain time frame you want to get in there? And or-
The guy that does most of my cross connections now, he's semi-retired, so mostly Tuesday and Wednesdays. He's in.
Tractor Supply itself, that building?
Yeah, he went in real quick and he didn't see any cross connections. I don't think it's tied to the other building because they weren't built at the same era.
Right.
And we could just be missing. And the workers in there didn't even know what we were trying to find.
Right.
And Cornerstones, Honeydew, we're playing phone tag with them, text tag with them. I don't think he got me back to my operator today.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll take care of this by tomorrow and get you the information, get you in there as quick as you can. Right? I'll let you know tomorrow for that.
The meters, did you provide? We're gonna have you guys get the meters for us.
Oh, yeah.
We have a list of actually every customer.
Yeah,
We just want to
it's
get
been a
them.
long, tedious journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past readings, front readings, when did you read meters today? Did you start reading meters today?
No.
No, we want to replace.
We want to replace a lot of our meters. All right, so we weren't sure if you guys were interested in replacing them for us, or have our distribution operator replace them, but we also need to buy them.
Yeah, I think when you get a distribution operator, they can do the meter, change meters, but in the meantime, if there are discrepancies or bad readings, I can stay on that, and try and find the problems. You guys should have started reading meters like today, right?
We have nobody to read meters.
You have a contractor from Connecticut.
We do- Oh, that's through the other office.
Through the treasurer.
Through the treasurer's office.
I'm not Amanda Peck, I'm,
The,
You're right, we have a contract.
Okay,
I don't know whether
so-
there are, but we have a contract that is meeting.
So the way this was given out is that the North Carolina Water District had in our MOU with the town takes care of all the financing and work there, so we don't have anything to do with that. We don't have anything to do with the metering, the reading of the meters, or the bills. We don't have anything to that. They do all that, and that's part of the MOU we have with the town. So we just get a bill.
I'm
Kathy.
sorry, excuse me, yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Usually she emails me when she was gonna read them. I don't think I got an email from her.
No, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, just to make sure we're on the same page. And any large discrepancies or no read, we'll get another list to start investigating, like the Capeway Road wasn't getting read because they didn't drive in close enough to the gate. When we drive and get to the gate, it was fine. That was just a simple one. Santana Way, I'm not sure what's going on in Santana Way. I think they get cross members of cubic feet and gallons. I think some of them aren't even ever been read. I don't even think it's a concept of, the one that sticks on my mind is the last one, 31 Santana Way. I'm not sure what's going on yet. We haven't quite figured that out yet.
Okay.
This is what leads to us not believing that we're getting
Right.
the water that we give you
Exactly.
compensated for.
So we're gonna buy all the meters for everything.
Right.
And then whatever we come across, we have it.
This is going to be solved with the master meter.
Most definitely, most definitely.
We won't have to worry about it anymore.
And
Well, you guys will, but we won't.
Right.
we're talking about contact, tag sales. Tag sales are...
Right, when I contacted them, they gave me one price, and then the price that you get is a lot cheaper than what we were quoted.
I spend almost $200,000 a year on meters, so...
Right.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things, is if we pay you for the meters, and then, did you get them for us? Thank you guys for coming. Have a good night. We're almost done.
I'll discuss that with these guys.
All right, and that'll be part of Eric's doing for that.
And as far as the additional 30 days, we'll get back to in the next few days.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, and thank you very much. If he has any questions or issues or whatnot, please, and we'll be on a discussion every month for our meetings about what's going on, and I'll keep you guys informed too of what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll have a big discussion on this for town meeting. I'm ready to put it on there.
Sounds good.
Eric, keep me updated on that contaminated well. The contaminated well.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about that right after the meeting. This year.
If we do work up, my guys involved.
Well, I'll give you this. Should I get a be quick one on this?
All right, sounds good. See you later.
So, this is the house back here. Family lives here, in the audience here. They live here, their driveway goes up like this and curves around like this in the back.
How many feet is that, top of your head?
About 900.
About 900?
Yeah.
300 up.
So-
Over.
Yeah, it's a hill. This is a hill that goes up and then it goes down like this around.
So what we do in Middleborough, we have to do...
Straight line's probably close to
come up with
700.
a bit.
Mhm.
Because if it leaks over here,
Yeah.
I'll never know.
Right,
That's how we're gonna
yeah,
count
yeah.
the water. And then we'll probably do 900 feet.
That's the course of the driveway. Straight line,
So we have to
700.
do a 2-inch line,
Yeah.
because of that big distance, we'll run out of water. So every 2-inch plastic, 900 feet, you're talking probably $10,000 on top.
The
That's
other-
a lot of Middleborough
Yeah.
space.
That's the other ways is if we go through properties here to seek easements to go through for those, but,
And you're gonna be lawyers. so-
yeah, I know. So I wasn't sure how we can handle that. if
Either way,
you
we
guys
have to put a
can.
meter there,
Right.
off the surface,
Okay.
off the line.
You can keep those if you want,
Okay.
just for reference, so.
Yeah, and I mean, just to be clear, Bob, what Mike's saying is for these, we'll do that. We'll take, if you want to add contaminated wells, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
I appreciate it very much. Thank you
The
very
water
much.
main goes down that far?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's almost where it ends.
Right.
Right, and then, well, the other thing is, I've been out to, we'll have to tap it with full hydrant. Anything after hydrant, they're gonna pick up all the sediment and all that, so we can flush it.
Oh, I know, it's right next to, I don't know, before or
Is it?
after. It's right, what, I think it's, well, I don't know. I don't know what it looks like underground, I'll have to
Yeah,
look at it.
yeah.
Was it before or after the hydrant? There's
We'd
a
have
big
to
white
check.
pipe sticking up
It's
right
before,
now.
it's just before the hydrant comes.
That pipe is sticking up is, they never really finished till you
Yeah,
install.
but they just added extra.
That's where they do the pressure test and the blow off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have
The hydrant's after your driveway, right? Going.
Yeah, but so is the
Yeah.
pipe.
Yeah.
They're both on the same
But
thing.
they're both,
So what we'll have is Eric will get with you guys with that to kind of coordinate that and to get some water.
who's been doing your services?
Larry Page.
Who?
Larry Page.
Yeah, thank you. Chief, wow. So yeah, he's got my number.
Okay. And I'm a little more flexible, so you guys let me know when you want to get together. Just reach out.
Sounds good.
Thank you very
All
much.
right,
I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Yep. All right, we'll be in touch in the 30 days.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mark, if you want to sit down and talk about that MOU, just send me the
Straight down.
Thank you.
Right, driveway comes to the street, that's the 300 feet, so I know that exactly. The rest of it's kind of driveway. When I talked to Larry, he was talking about the basically once they come up the hill, going straight down and over the angle, probably like close to the 600.
Yeah, so it'll be a switch line.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's very gonna be.
There's the 300 right there, so yeah, I think the actual driveway length is, pretty close. Because the house is pretty good.
And,
Yeah, so that's probably 300. Yeah, I said it's 700 wide.
Let me sit back. I was gonna go there about
I
it.
think Mark just wanted to talk about that.
So I clarify
Okay.
one thing.
All right, yeah,
It's a hundred-
sure. All right. You guys.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
So stay I'm going.
I'm standing.
That's such a good meeting, I was gonna stay away from it, but I'd like to clarify something.
Okay, sure, no problem. Go right ahead, Mark.
There's a lot of conversation with PFAS in our town. I heard some in Carver. So we do sampling, or Mike does sampling all the time. We have I'm going to see this, we have 10 wells in Middleborough. The PFAS that was detected is not on the wells that supply water to Carver. So I'll read this email that Mike sent me a little while back. It says, attached is the PFAS sampling. We performed East Main Street 4 wells and Clinton well have been non-detect. Mass DEP has given waivers for sampling until July of next year. These are the wells that supply 99% of the time to the North Carver Water District. On occasion, the cross well has attached. So to reiterate what that means is there's no PFAS in the water going to Carver. It's non-detectable. I just want to get that on the record from our side. We have documentation, we have spreadsheets. We're more than happy to give you copies of the samples. That's all.
Thank you for
my
the
piece.
clarification.
Thank you.
On top of that, even if it wasn't in that situation, PFAS is a problem that's across the whole world, not just a Middleborough issue. The town of Middleborough did nothing to cause the PFAS that's in the water in Middleborough, but proactively, we put together a capital improvement plan and raised rates to cover, and this does impact you guys because we raised rates to cover this. We're investing in $100 million in improvements over the next 10 years to cover treating for PFAS in 4 different locations in town to provide non-detect water across the whole town to Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester as well. So, to start that, we're about to go, as I mentioned, into construction on a $35 million water treatment plant at East Main. East Grove. That will provide water to Middleborough, but not the water, like Mark said, you guys are in a good spot. The area that we provide the water from is not detected.
And I'm not saying there's no PFAS in the water. What I'm saying is the water that Carver is receiving is non-detectable. That's what I'm saying. Price to be good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. All right, next order of business number 4 is discussion and vote to advertise for a distribution operator. If we can just get a quick...
Sure. So this was a significantly bigger project than I thought because, first of all, I had to create a section about the town of Carver. I also had to create a history of the North Carver Water District and incorporate that in there because any distribution operator that's going to bid on this is going to want to know what they're bidding about. So I probably spent 3 hours alone on that one section. And that is done, so I'll email that to you all as I'm finishing the remaining sections of the distribution thing. And because as much as I know, what I know is because I read on various sampling, some prior reporting, and I found a little bit about when you install the 2015, I think the wells, the holding tanks, 4
Yes.
holding tanks. So I put all in as best I could, and that's ready to go. So I'll email that to you now, and then you guys can update me on any history that you
Okay.
might have got wrong.
Yeah.
But I think what you'll see is a pretty good product. I'm just working on the comparative analysis, so when you get a proposal back from a proposer, you can score them appropriately and pick the right one.
All right.
So just a couple more days on that.
All right.
Okay.
Advertise. Can't advertise yet, so we'll have to wait for that.
Yeah, I bet we'll have something that we could advertise even as soon as next week.
Right, okay, so we're gonna have a meeting next Wednesday.
Yeah. And so what that means is the Central,
Right.
so the Central Register
The ninth.
publishes on Wednesdays,
Yeah.
so you might have to publish the following week,
Yeah,
but that'll be the latest.
okay, all right.
And like I said to you last week, I thought I could get it done at the end of the week, but I just couldn't because it was such a complex thing.
Right.
And, but I'll have one for you so that you'll be able to have a productive discussion next week.
Right, and I agree, I mean, it has to be done right, and,
No, you'll like it. I took a combination of one that I got from Wellfleet, one that I got from Lexington. I used portions of the Manchester by the Sea one, and even saw some complimentary language. We'll get one that I had from Richmond, Rhode Island that I thought was terrific
Right.
format.
okay, all right, thank you very much. Next one is discussion of residents in need of water from the North Carolina Water due to contamination. So we just started that discussion with Middleborough to try to work to get them, and they're interested in helping us run the line for it and to get a meter pit hooked up. That's what I heard.
Right.
So,
I think the town has the funds for the water.
So my understanding is,
I'm sorry, can I get your name?
sorry, I'm Wendy Maynard, I'm at 148 Plymouth Street.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
go right ahead. No, please.
Yeah, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is part of the agreement from the contamination issue required to bring water to Plymouth Street. So the agreement, as I understand it, is that they bring it into all the way down, all of the installation of that line. They brought it to the end of the street, but they are also required to bring it to the house. Another resident on the street has gotten a quote for a full house filtration system that's doing reverse osmosis. That is probably half of what it would be to just bring the line to the house. And I don't know why other options aren't being considered. Is it absolutely required that we hook up to the street? Are there other ways we could get it done without costing? Well, it sounds like if it's 10 just to dig the lines, it'll be more for the labor to connect, to do all of that, and the meters, everything else. Is there another way to do it?
So I think part of that is,
That's a town part of this.
well, see, if the town, in my opinion, if the town goes ahead and purchases an individual system for you, and that fails, and you get sick from it, then the town could be liable for that, in just my opinion. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, it's just my opinion, I'm looking at it that way. And if you went out and purchased that yourself and did it yourself, okay, fine, great, no problem, the town doesn't have that liability.
It just seems like an awful cost, a lot more to do it the other way.
Right, but sometimes
No, I
the larger
get that.
cost at the beginning is actually the better cost along
Yeah, long,
It's gonna
right.
negate the liabilities
Right.
long term.
So
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. But when Eric has some discussions with them about this, for it, to try to get this up and running for you, so you have clean water, you're not getting bottled water.
Right,
delivered to
so
your
at this
house.
point, I mean, there's a lot spent on bottled water to bring it in and everything like that, and then part of the confusion we have is, who is the person spearheading that side? I know once you're not in that part of the process because you're supplying it once it's done, but it does not seem like anyone's taking a hold of the how to get it to us part.
So you now know
So now, making you one.
that Eric's going to discuss it
Yeah.
with them. We as a board last meeting voted on that, that I'll deal with the town, with any MOUs or whatnot with the town. Eric will deal with Middleborough with any issues with them. And that'll hopefully spearhead this to get you water down there and get it done as quick as possible. Now that they know the area, they know what we're talking about, and Eric will be talking with Mike to get this done and to
So then
coordinate it. And then,
Mr. Ford fit into that picture, because we've asked him, I don't have the list of questions, that, one of the questions is egress. If you're coming up the driveway, how are we supposed to get in?
Usually the trench is done in half a day.
yeah,
It's quick. It's only 4 feet below grade.
right.
Usually on one side or the other, so you still have access to get out.
Well, it's kind of narrow.
It's very
The
narrow.
driveway's kind of narrow.
We barely have the 25
Right,
feet
right.
required.
Right.
It's a setback lot, and
Right.
so there's a real question.
Right. So anything that is done will be coordinated for you guys, so you know when it's going to be. You'll be notified ahead of time. I'm sure Eric will turn around and be in contact with you. If you can just leave your name and phone number with Eric before you leave. That way, he has that information to get in touch with you, and if Middleborough has to come down, because I drove up there today.
Yes,
All right.
and you met my lovely son.
Yeah, just to turn around, let you know where we're doing and what we're going for.
Mhm.
And I think I followed through with that tonight. And the biggest thing is to follow through and make sure you get water. And unfortunately, once the water does get hooked up, your well will have to be capped. Whatever well you have will have to be capped off. And then you'll be receiving a bill from the town for your water usage for it. So that's what's coming down the pipe. All right, and I think that's pretty much all we can do right now. But now that everyone's aware, and we know that they will help us to get it done, that was one of my things on.
And do you have like, an anticipated timeline on what, I mean, there's a lot of different moving parts, but it's at least 30, 60 days before anything is, because you have other agreements that have to be signed
Right.
first.
So, well, I think this is going to be more of a top
Yeah,
priority
I
for you
mean,
for
the work
this.
itself is probably 1 day to do the trench, and then a plumb up 1 day. So you're talking for half a day. I don't know how long inside what has to be done. Once the materials are there, it's quick. Time frame wise, I'm sure they want to do it before winter, so
Right.
sooner than later.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would hopefully by 60 days, it should be done within 60 days. That would be my goal for it.
Somebody typically home during the day.
We would need to make sure the right person was there.
Yeah.
As long as we have time to organize that, then we can work with that.
All right.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, I think that's.
All right.
And then, yeah, I guess, I don't know if that was that, one question was egress. And then just making sure that, he went over the selectmen meeting, so getting bullets from him.
Yeah.
That if there is anything, I don't assume we have any financial responsibility in that, but
No.
we want to make sure that if there is anything, we're fully aware of what that is, that there's no surprises.
So what it looks like right now is that we're going to coordinate this to get done, all right? And the payment of everything will come from the town's end. Because from what I was told is the town pays
That's
for this
100%
whole
what
thing.
I expect, the town.
And it doesn't come from us, that they'll have to pay that cost. So, because ultimately the town caused it, so
Yeah.
they have to pay for it. But we're just in the process, like I said, of, right now.
You're the distributor. so
Yeah,
maybe-
pretty much now, I mean, Yeah. We still got a long road ahead of us.
Yeah, no, I know that, and I think that's where it's hard, the breakdown is sometimes it really goes like the town side of it is just dragging along,
Yeah.
not knowing what's going on. There's
Well,
lots of
I
reasons.
thought this meeting was well done, and just to turn around and get information out, I think that was very helpful to bridge some gap,
Yeah, I think-
knowing who's in control, and also to turn around and understand that, yeah.
It's a work in progress.
It's an issue.
I got that, so, okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. The next one was discussion and vote on plan to provide water. Well, we already discussed that, so we don't have to deal with that one. Plant engineering study, progress,
In process.
in process for the engineering study, so that one's still going. Status of the phone bill, so the phone bill, they originally told me, hey, yep, you can get a reduction in your phone bill prices. I sent the application in, oh, you're not entitled to it. So they said, but your town is. So I did forward that to the town administrator. So if they hook up with it, then maybe we can slide in under theirs, who knows? The garage door, did you get?
I haven't heard from them.
You haven't heard it from them yet?
Nothing.
Okey-dokey. All right, so I forward you the email,
Yeah.
right, for it, and I'll call the guy tomorrow and tell him to call you. Otherwise, that's it for that, and public comment, anybody else? No? Okay. Discussion vote on the meeting minutes for September 25th. We don't have the 18th yet. The selectmen, once the selectmen vote on theirs, then we'll take it from there, and we'll vote on their meeting minutes from the last joint meeting.
So we hold off the minutes?
So we'll do, no, we can do September 25th. We have that available. Did you get a chance to
I did.
take a quick gander? I did too. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll second.
I'll entertain a motion, so.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Those are done. Our next meeting date is going to be next Wednesday at 6 PM. And would you like to meet in here again, or would you rather meet in the town hall? Okay, all right.
Too big a room for us.
Huh?
Echoey in here.
Huh?
Echoey.
Yeah, all right, we'll meet at the town hall. All right, now, room 4, the basement again. All right, anything else?
No, I thought that was a really positive thing.
Yes, it opened up our eyes of everything, and,
I mean, they know you knew,
Yeah.
you know, and they know that there's a history, and glad they didn't walk away, you know, and they're willing to help you. So,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
I think it was a great positive step.
I do too. So, thank you very much. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Thank you very much. Meeting is now closed.